if we don't return the equipment and the prisoners, there's going to be some bad things happen.
We have prisoners.
Yes. This is what they said on the phone call. And the other guy's like, well, hey, what if we can't get them, to return all the equipment and the people? And the guy that had given the interview, he's like, you don't want to do that.
So, a very notable whistleblower, Jason Sand, has recently come forward with some claiming that we have aliens or NHI captured prisoners, and we also have stolen a ridiculous amount of NHI technology, which we are reverse engineering, or private companies are reverse engineering for financial profit. And this type of greed and classification and secret keeping, Jason Sands is going to go into all of it, and we're going to be covering all of it. So guys, make sure you subscribe, notifications on, share, as that helps the absolute most, like, comment, and without further ado, get your snacks, get your popcorn. Let's watch this.
So you heard the recording. That's how you found out about this non-human intelligence thing.
Well, it was an active phone call. That's what I did on the red team that I was on for the program, because I'm monitoring for the Air Force. And in this case, I'm monitoring for the program.
Can you say how the conversation went? Like, how did someone bring up non-human intelligence? What was like, was there any discussion before this non-human intelligence of UFOs at all, or aliens at all?
Yeah, there was quite a few times. We had a scientist on the team. There was an officer. He was a nuclear scientist, and he was able to give us some insights and stuff like that, because we'd have some really strange things, like things that were turning at 90 degrees, and how do you not break that piece of machinery or not kill the occupants? And we were hearing stuff like that, and they had like very technical parameters that I cannot discuss, but they were talking about these, and we'd get the scientists to come and talk to us, and he'd say, oh yeah, that's this, and this.
So supposedly these black sites hold prisoners of NHI, and I wonder if there's a NHI sitting in there being transported and controlling under his mind whenever this is happening. Like, it's so confusing, right? But regardless, Jason Sands goes into quite detail. Make sure you stay till the end of this video, because all the best parts are there. We're trying to get their watch time, trying to grow, and make sure you're here to witness it.
And so how does the conversation go where the non-human intelligence gets brought up?
That was just like the two of them, when I picked up the call and started the recording on it, there was some guy that was there at Right Pat, and apparently he had been talking to this Eben. And he said, yeah, up today's session, we got some more information you need to hear about. This is what is going to happen. He says that there's going to be another meeting, and that if we don't return the equipment and the prisoners, there's going to be some bad things happen.
We have prisoners.
Yes. This is what they said on the phone call. And the other guy's like, well, hey, what if we can't get them, to return all the equipment and the people? And the guy that had given the interview, he's like, you don't want to do that. And the guy's like, well, why? He said, if you don't, they're going to be put to death. And I was like, I literally stepped back for a minute, and I was like, what's going on here? So I had to finish out the call. They talked about sundry other things, just stupid stuff.
Can you be a little bit more clear? Like, who's going to be put to death?
The program folks that are responsible for keeping the tech that's not theirs, and also, doing things to these extraterrestrial.
So at the same time, Jason Sands is a bit of a controversial figure, very much like Stephen Greer, but I don't think as much, but I think Jason Sands has to do with Gaia, which is a very frowned upon news source, or it's Michael Herrera. I don't want to be confusing the two, but I'm not really sure. So my apologies if I'm wrong, but let me know in the comments down below, okay? So I also think Jason Sands has told the story of him driving in the desert, probably Area 51, Groom Lake, etc. And this he thought at first was a person that was dying of hypothermia because he was blue in skin color, and Michael thought he was dying, and then his buddy told him that this man had no ears, and it turned out that this was a NHI. There's also been a lot of talk about Jason Sands having killed an alien, there was a story that he told, but I think he retracted it and tried to shut people up that was talking about it. So if anyone knows anything more about this, I'd love to hear from you. But so far, you got to choose how deep you go with this guy's stories, right? Where's your limit? Like, it's pretty out there what he says.
I'd seen a video on this, I think a couple weeks ago, who apparently at the time had heard through the grapevine of a couple other people he was connected to that you had a story of being ordered to assassinate an alien. Now, this was like at the time shot down or whatever, and then fast forward from April 2024 when that was first like floated by him and he caught backlash for that. Now fast forward to December 2024, the program comes out on the 16th, and I believe like a day later, I forget who it was with, I'm sorry, I'll put the link in description, but you do like a 22-minute interview, I think it was, on YouTube. Who was that with? Do you remember?
I think it was with Digby for now.
Alessi, can you look this up real quick? Jason Sands interview alien assassination, and look for the one that's 22 minutes. I want to get back.
While he's looking at that, I'll respond a little bit. But
please.
Anyway, Vetted had put out the video, but he said something like, "I killed a blue alien."
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh shit, that is not what I said," because he was confusing two different things. Because
who had you said this to, or whatever he was misinterpreting?
I don't know who he talked to behind the scenes, but I did mention it to only one other or two other people.
Okay.
That there was some stuff that I had, some work that I had to do that I don't like talking about because it brings PTSD back. But the other thing was that this blue alien, I was like, no, I didn't kill a blue alien. So I immediately called Vetted, and we settled it up, and I said, look, that's not right. And I said, can you take it down? Because it's not correct. And then he didn't take it down, but he corrected himself. But that's because I contacted him.
Yeah.
And we got to know each other. He's a really great guy. And he's also somebody I consider a friend through all this.
Yeah.
He doesn't agree with all my stuff, and I don't care about that. It's not his life.
Yeah, and this is the video right here, post-disclosure world. That's who it was, who you did this with. Yeah. So this is what I want to get at, because you don't...
I fucking love post-disclosure world, guys. It's UFO Jesus. You guys got to check his channel out. His edits are so funny, and I like his whole style, how he does things. It's it's good content.
Don't say any of this back in April, and when you talked with James and gave the testimony on the documentary, you didn't mention any of this. You didn't mention lost time unless that was on the cutting floor. James, you can fill that in.
Yeah, I don't remember about the lost time, but I definitely remember I called Jason. I was like, dude, you are killing me right now. What are you talking about?
All right.
You want to kill the credibility of all the testimony. I'm already riding the line with you, this encounter, so.
All right. So, and
I was having a big issue.
Yes. And you have to understand this is like a...
So this is absolutely nuts, right? So much back and forth, contradictions. This doesn't look good for any of these people. So I'd love to see what comes of this. James Fox looks a little bit agitated or nervous, so I don't know what that's about, right? How do you perceive this whole ordeal?
Crazy claim for the average person like me to hear.
The blue alien's already tough.
That's already tough. Agreed. Yeah. But like when you're like, I was forced to assassinate for the Intergalactic Federation, whatever, it gets to like, all right, what
crazy
the fuck?
Status.
So my first question is, before we get into it, because I want you to explain what this was, what was the decision-making process for you, A, not to share that with James when you testified on the documentary, and B, not to share it in the Twitter spaces when you went public and had a 6-hour forum to share your experience?
Initially, I thought it was bad I didn't want to talk about it for the film because it was something that I did not like to talk about to begin with or even remember. And mainly that I was comfortable talking about other subject matter. However, there are people that are close to me that did get to have more information than even Congress did in certain aspects. And one of them is this particular part of the program that they run that deals with no kidding stuff that is cleaning up problems for themselves. And be that human or otherwise, that being the case. So they do have a part of the program and people that do handle that.
In your opinion?
In my opinion.
Okay, let's leave it at that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the kind of thing that I was asked about. Now, was there a thought process when they asked me this? No, they caught me off guard is what happened. Because, like I said, the PTSD dealing with some of this crap that goes on inside the program is very hard to handle.
And just so that people have transparency out there, because you have said this publicly, what is it that you explain was the context with this? As in, you received an order from someone at some point that said, you got to shoot this NHI. And
I feel really uncomfortable talking about this, because this is a credibility destroyer, in my opinion, and it really bothers me that you're talking about it, and I don't want to be connected to it in any way.
It's going to bring
shape,
back
or form.
Actually,
and I've already told them that.
All right,
so
if
you're going to make those claims, I'm walking out the door.
No, I'm not.
I'm sorry.
I have to tell you,
it's already bad enough.
Yeah, because right now we're treading a line where
even if it's true, don't talk about it.
Right, and
not to say that I believe it. It's a credibility killer, and it's horrible.
James, I understand that.
Yeah.
When you interviewed Jason,
he didn't tell me
for
about
the documentary. There's none of this there.
No.
You've already described how you went through and vetted it.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect and whatever. No story's perfect with anyone, regardless of who it is.
I don't feel comfortable talking about it.
Okay.
It's something that I would like. It's horrible that it even happened. And I've explained to him, if you're trying to discredit your entire everything, then continue on that path.
Then let me ask this. I'm
really uncomfortable.
All right, listen.
Just so you know,
out of respect for you, I'm going to refer people to the post-disclosure podcast where that was said.
Yeah.
Okay, we will have the link. Make sure we have the link to that in the description, Alessi.
Yeah.
I'll double check that.
And so to clarify on my side,
yes.
Okay.
Why? What made you want?
Regardless, I was caught totally off guard.
But why did you say it?
Because they asked me. Anybody who knows me knows I'm an honest guy. That I will, if I have a question that I'm given, I will give you at least what I can talk about.